It's the lower control arms. Let's check them out. Let's make sure they're not damaged. So it's full of bubble wrap. That's always good. Packing slip. All right, here's one. Bushings look good. So the ones I currently have in the car, these are damaged. Same thing with these guys here. These are damaged, and you can feel the car rock back and forth. This is where your ball joint goes. This area here. And let's check out the other one. Everything's good here. Everything looks solid. Looking at these welds. So we got a driver and passenger side. So these are in. Now we're gonna get ready to start the installing process. Remember guys, I am not a professional mechanic. Okay, I'm doing all these repairs. I'm learning with the car as I go. Every time I encounter issues, I am choosing to save some money and do these repairs myself. You can do these repairs yourself as well. Save lots of money by just taking the time and wrenching on your car. You know, it's not hard to do these repairs. You know, you just gotta have the time and the patience, and be as safe as possible to get this job done. I've put up other videos where I'm doing work around the car, and there might be things that I do that look unsafe, like for example being underneath the car and the jack stands. I know that the jack stands can give out. I know that there was a case with the Harbor Freight Tool jack stands that they were collapsing on people while they were working on the cars. I'm not sure if somebody died from it or what. You guys could leave a comment on that. The Harbor Freight Tool jack stands. I'm not using Harbor Freight Tool jack stands. I actually picked up the jack stands at Sears a long time ago. That's what I'm using, and I put other things underneath the vehicle in case the jack stands give out. You know, I just don't trust none of that. Never trust being underneath the vehicle. You know, it could fall on you. It could definitely fall on you. So just keep that in mind every time you're working on the car. And enough talking. Let's get to work. There's a 21 millimeter socket on a breaker bar. Make sure you put that on the jacking point. case the jack stand, the jack fails, there's a tire underneath there. It'll hold it from the car hitting the ground all the way. Alright, these are going to be 17 mil for the ball joint. Alright. I'm not going to take them out all the way, just loosen them. If you're replacing your ball joint, you're going to have to remove more. You'll remove the caliper, take the axle out so you can get to that castle nut and the counter pin here. But I'm only replacing the control arm. So this guy here is going to be a 19 mil. And this guy's also 19. I put the screwdriver on top of the washer and push down on the bolt there. Probably pry this out. Oh, this thing's super rusted. See a little bit of Loctite there. All right, 17 17mm nuts. It's 2 of them. This is just a bolt. So 2 nuts, 1 bolt. Alright. Okay. So that's free. I gotta take out that guy now. That's interesting. I had to loosen up the motor mount on this side so I could lift the engine enough so I can pull this guy out. So to get this guy out, you're gonna have to loosen up the motor mount and lift the engine. I put a bottleneck jack underneath there. I have the jack stand over here, another jack stand there, the tires there, the jack's underneath the oil pan a little bit because you're not lifting a lot. Gives you access so you can slide this bolt out. You do have to remove the headlight, the wiper fluid reservoir, loosen everything up to see how much it comes up here. Let's see if I can slide this guy out. You guys see that? Look how torn this is. This is really bad. So if you're making clunky sounds, this is what it's gonna be. There's a new one. Bushing's good. Same thing. All right, I'm gonna slide this side first. get your bolt that's gonna go there. So you're gonna have to hit this until it sets into place, so you have room to slide the bolt in. See that thing? Get a wire brush, clean off the threads. I'm not gonna put Loctite yet until I get this other bolt in place. Same thing with this other one. See how rusted it is? I'm pulling on it to align that as best as I can, and then I'll slide in the bolt. Alright, so once you wiggle this back and forth, it's going to go on there kind of tight. Hit it with the hammer, not the hammer, a mallet hammer. Drive it in, and you'll see the bolt come all the way out. And now we could put Loctite on there. We'll tighten this up. Alright, after a while of fighting with this guy and hitting it and wedging this, lifting it and getting it into place, I finally was able to drive it down. So now just try to clean these threads. And this guy here. Alright, the Loctite's on there. Alright. Now let's put some on here. Put our nuts back on. These are 17s, 17 mil. If you guys are new to the channel, consider subscribing. So once this gets driven in, the Loctite will spread and we'll be good. some of the Loctite. See it there? Push through. That's tight. So don't forget to put Loctite on these. So this is the passenger side lower control arm. It sucks that I have to lift the engine in order to get that one bolt out. So I had to lift it so I can get to that bolt there, so I can take it out. Not too bad. Not too bad. You can definitely do this yourself. Alright, let's put everything else back together and move on to the driver's side. Look at all that rust. Look at that. Lots of rust. There's this side. Loosen this one. So it comes right out. Perfect. And these are 17 mil. This time change sucks, man. Sunsets really fast. Doesn't give you time for much. Alright, now I'm gonna wedge a flathead in between here. Try to separate that. There we go. Same thing with this one. Look at that. Look at that. This is a torque wrench I'm using. So the forums online say that 101 foot-pounds to these bolts here for the lower control arm. For these guys in the back and the one in the front. For that guy. Alright guys, here are the old lower control arms, ones I took out. Sorry about the lighting. It's just I had to work in the evening and it gets dark real quick. But check this one out. Super messed up. Look at this guy. So if your car's making weird noises and you hear like metal hitting metal, and it might be your lower control arm, so take a look at them and see if they're not busted like this. This bushing should be all intact, but it was time to change these, and they're both bad. Look at that. This one has so much play in it. Alright guys, so that's gonna wrap it up for this video. For my first time doing these lower control arms, I'm gonna say that it is kind of a, well, it was a challenge. It was a challenge, definitely was a challenge on the passenger side, due to the fact that you have to take off, well, you have to loosen up, not necessarily take off, but you have to loosen up the motor mount so you can lift the engine and get a little bit of clearance so you could take that bolt out. This bolt here, the bolt that goes there. So you have to lift the engine a little bit, just enough so this guy could slide out. And so that's more things you have to take off, not off, I keep saying off. There's more things you have to do on the passenger side. And the driver's side, that's not as bad as the other side, because you have the clearance so you don't have to move anything, and you could take out the bolt with no problem. I didn't have to replace my ball joints this time. They're still good. So we'll see when those fail, and if they do fail, then I'll be sharing that too as well. If any of you guys know the torque specs for any of these bolts, drop a comment, let me know. The only thing I was able to pull up is just like the RAV4s. I believe they say 101 foot-pounds on these, but I'm not sure. So I just made sure that I timed them down as best as possible. I'm gonna go down to Toyota and see if they'll give me some torque specs on these guys, and then I'll torque everything down just to make sure everything's good. And don't forget your Loctite on all of this. Thank you guys, thank you so much for watching the videos. If you're not subscribed, thank you. Still appreciate you watching the videos. Consider subscribing. I share a lot, all these things that I keep doing to the second generation, third generation Prius. Thank you guys for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one.